Thank you for browsing page 121. Today we're going to jump into the monster manual and look at the Gorgon. I love Gorgons. They're a lot of fun. It can be a real challenge for your players and for you as a DM. So what is a Gorgon? Well, I'll go into that in a moment. Frequency is rare, 1 to 4 appearing, 2 armor class, 8 hit dice, 1 attack for 2 to 12 damage, breath turns to stone. Defense is nil, standard magic resistance, animal intelligence, neutral alignment, and they're large. Gorgons are bow-like creatures covered with thick metal scales. They prefer the fastness of a wilderness or dreary caverns for habitation. A Gorgon is able to breathe out a cloud of noxious vapors, which will turn any creature to stone unless they make the appropriate saving throw. The breath shoots forth from a truncated cone, 5 feet diameter at the base, beast's mouth, 60 feet in length, and end diameter of 20 feet. That's big. A Gorgon is able to use such breath up to 4 times per day. Gorgons will always use this attack form in preference to other sorts of attack. The awareness of Gorgons extends into the astral and ethereal planes. So do the effects of their breath weapons. So, much like Medusa, you're not protected by being in an ethereal window when you're dealing with a Gorgon. Now, interestingly, in mythology, Medusa is the name of a woman who gets turned into a Gorgon. Properly, the lady with the snakes on her head is actually a Gorgon by myth. By D&D, they're two separate things. Also, interestingly, in Marvel Comics, Medusa and Gorgon are 2 members of the Inhumans royal family. So it's just kind of neat that the 2 have become separated. And this one is more like a bull. I always kind of thought Gygax might have gotten this one from the old brass bull of ancient times. But the idea that the breath turns to stone is an interesting one. You can have up to 4 present, and of course they have to get together to make little baby Gorgons. So the question immediately becomes, is a Gorgon immune to another Gorgon's breath weapon? Doesn't say. So it can be either way. It can be whatever you want it to be. Personally, I let them be immune to it simply because the breath weapon is a large area and you can have 1 to 4 appearing, and I don't want my Gorgons making saving throws against each other's breath weapons. That being said, that could be a really fun role-playing encounter where the Gorgons are saving against each other's breath weapons. Maybe your players are trying to lure them into breathing so they get one of their own number in the cloud. So that might be another way to go, where you make it where they're not immune to each other's breath weapons. So it could be a really good way to play it either way. I love the Gorgon. I hate the Gorgon. And I hate the Gorgon because one of my earliest characters, Lord Sneezy, who had made it to 7th level fighter, had previously encountered a watered-down deck of many things. And as part of it, he got -3 save versus petrification. And I thought, ha, no big deal. Until the day a Gorgon breathed on Lord Sneezy. Lord Sneezy rolled his saving throw, add his pluses in. He made it by 1. Now I have to take 3 away. I was turned to stone. Fortunately, we had a group where they were able to turn me back to flesh after defeating the Gorgon. But the actual encounter with the Gorgon ended badly for me because of a prior thing, a mild curse that I really thought nothing of at the time, -3 save versus petrification, who cares? And it came back and it kind of bit me in my stone butt. So just kind of an interesting turnaround on that. As far as Gorgons themselves, they have only animal intelligence. I actually make mine a little bit smarter than that. And maybe, high dog intelligence. I know that's still animal intelligence, but you get what I'm going for. Simply because I want my Gorgons to be able to plan a little bit. Also, the breath weapon area of effect screams early D&D / we're in a dungeon, because this will fit perfectly down a dungeon hallway and get the entire party, or you can have it in a room and it's still going to be 60 foot long, ending at 20 feet wide. So that's still a lot of feet to catch player characters in and turn them to stone. I have used Gorgons many times over the years. I have turned many player characters to stone. In one instance, the players had no choice but to leave one of the party members who was turned to stone simply because they had no means whatsoever to get them back. They went and they quested for a while. The player affected just played a different character for a bit in the campaign, and then eventually the players found a wizard who could cast the stone to flesh and turn the poor adventurer back to flesh, but they had to pay him also to come with into the hazard of the dungeon, that kind of thing. It took a lot of money, and it took 2 or 3 games before I had them bring anybody or get anybody who would come back and turn this guy back to flesh. They were going to try to carry the statue out, which was the first thought, but they had no extra dimensional things such as a portable hole to carry it in, and there was a great fear that an arm or a leg would break off. Now, if an arm or a leg breaks off when they're in statue form, no big deal. When they're turned back to mortal form, that limb is off. You're going to bleed out. So just some of the problems you can run into when you have your player characters encounter a Gorgon. I love Gorgons. I also like the fact that they can still attack and do 2 to 12 points of damage. And they're 8 hit dice, which means they're going to be running something around 40 to 45 hit points. They're a good encounter. I would not use these guys at lower levels. I would want my players to have saving throws maybe around, on average, maybe around a 12 or even 11, so that they at least have a good chance of being able to survive this encounter where I'd only get 1 or 2 of them. But even at that, a 12 is only a 60% chance to save, so that's 40%. So if I hit 2 players with that, I've got a good chance of getting 1 of them at least. But that's it. I believe this is Dave Trampier artwork on the Gorgon. Excellent job, as always, from Dave Trampier. I loved his artwork. Love his artwork. And I love the Gorgon encounter. So let me know what you think. Have you petrified your party, so to speak, by using a Gorgon against them? I have, and I love them, and I will. So, but again, this is not a low-level encounter. To my mind, players would need to be somewhere between like 8th and 10th before I would start throwing a Gorgon at them, much less 1 to 4. So that's up to you, though. But that's all I've got today on page 121. Just another petrifying video. Let me know what you think. Do you use Gorgons in your game? And have they been good, or have they been total party kills? How have you done with them? Also, please take a look at the Patreon, see if you can help me out there. Like and subscribe. Leave comments. I just request that comments be phrased politely. I've had some people lately getting a little sharp with me, and one guy even called me an idiot. That's fine. Do it politely, and I don't care. Do it impolitely, and I zap the comment. So, but that's all I've got today on page 121. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.